g'day, Max here again, welcome back to the shop, except it's not the shop. We're out in the backyard today putting some pegs in for the new workshop. So we're sort of in the shop. Well, I'm standing in it at the moment where it's going to be. So we've got an auto level here, and it just allows me to set my pegs at the correct level. When it does a constant beat, we've got a measured set distance. So it tells me how far to put our pegs in. So we've got another 4 more semi-loads of road base over there behind me to finish off the driveway. And then we'll pull all the grass up here where the concrete slab's got to go. So the grass will come up, and then we'll compact the sand down and build the pad up to the required level with sand and then road base. And then the concrete will go on. So this is my Sunday morning, so I better get back to it. Okay, so we've just stripped out the grass on the part of the driveway which forms the entrance to where the new shop's going to go. So I've backbladed it all with the backhoe over there, levelled it out as best I can. So we're just doing quite a few passes over now with a plate compactor, and then we'll add a bit of sand in down on the left hand edge to bring it up. It's got to come up an extra couple of inches there before we can start putting road base on. And then we'll start spreading our piles of road base. So, a bit of work to go yet, so we'll plod on. This is my plate compactor. It's a Wacker DPU 6555, so it's a 500 kilogram plate compactor. That's a good old girl, does the job. Well, that's the end of today's proceedings. Where this hose goes on here, there's a bulkhead fitting goes through there to a tube. She blew out. So I'll swing you around and see what happened. Well, there's the tube. So on the end of this tube, this bulkhead fitting goes on here, so it's popped the weld off. It's just been brazed on. These are supposed to be, well, this has been repaired at some hydraulic shop. Now that should have been silver soldered on. It's just been butt brazed. So we'll take it back to my shop. We'll clean all this bronze crap off it, and I think we'll just run a bead around with a TIG welder, and that'll get us back in action. So we've got about half of our sand built up. I've got to do a constant slope from the raw pegs here. It'll slope down to over there. So that's as far as we can go today until we get the pipe fixed for the backhoe. So that's our backyard. There's our police helicopter flying around looking for someone. There's a silent mode on that thing too, so people can't hear it. Okay, so we're back from our quick excursion out to the farm, the old farm, or the block, we call it, where we were putting in some level pegs for the new shed. So things are progressing slowly with that because I'm fighting the weather and a fair bit of overtime we have to do at work, so that's slowing progress down there and here. So we'll carry on with our LA Rocheleau grinding fixture. That's our end mill sharpener. So we're just cleaning up the base plate. So we'll give you a quick look at our progress on that. And finally I got some channel stickers sorted out. So these will be the new channel stickers for the shop. So for anyone that's already posted me channel stickers, I've got a few. There's some already coming out in the mail to you guys, and I've still got a few on my list to go through. So if anyone else wants one that doesn't have the channel or their own channel stickers, I'll come to some arrangement with that at a later date, hopefully not too later. So, but anyway, we'll swing you down and we'll look at the progress on our grinding jig. Okay, so we had a successful lapping exercise with the main spindle, or the secondary spindle. So that's a really beautiful fit in there, so that's all taken care of. The bore inside is like brand new. This takes 5C collets. So I picked up a whole box of these, all hard-inch 5C collets from the US a couple of years ago now, when the dollar was still pretty good with the Australian dollar, so that was several years ago. So the base, so I cleaned up the base with a bit of Scotch Brite, and then I went over with the Stephen Lang's Precision Flat Stones. Give it a rub over with these. And now I'm just doing the last clean up here. I've got some bit of lapping compound, bit of WD-40, and just going around just giving it a final polish up. This will just bring it up to all nice and shiny-ish. We've already got any high spots have been taken off with the Precision Flat Stones. So this is just a piece of aluminium we're using to lap on. Just a matter of backwards and forwards, round and round. It's looking good, so I'll give that a clean off, and I think that should be done. That. That's come up very well. All the numbers are nice and clear. A bit hard to see in the camera, but as good as the day it left the factory in the 1950s or 1940s, or pretty old anyway. So that's this part taken care of. So the next part will be this. So we'll get that cleaned up, and that will mount onto there. We'll bring you back when we got that done. Well, g'day, we're finally back in the shop again. I'm playing around out of the plot property yesterday with the tractor until that broke. We'll get on to repairing that part shortly. Before we get into the final assembly of the grinding attachment, I'll just give you a bit of an update on what I've got coming up. Because of the new shop build that I'm doing, it's going to slow down my machining videos to some extent depending on the weather. Now, this time of year over in Perth, it's normally the start of where we get a lot of rain, and we could have rain for 6 weeks straight, you know, every weekend, 8 weeks. It's coming. So at the moment, while it's not raining, the weather's holding out. I've got to push to get as much as I can done up at the property to get preparations so I can get a slab down for the shop. Now, when the weather does turn, of course, I'll be hammering out the videos, the machining videos. So as far as that goes, I've got a lot of small jobs to catch up with on the machines. Like this grinding attachment, I need to get that finished. I need to get the tool and cutter grinder up and running, and I need to make a new set of holders for the way wipers for the lathe, and get the VFD sorted out for the Bridgeport there, so I can get that up and running, because I need that for pretty well all the up and coming projects that we've got, as they're all quite a lot of technical in-depth machining on pretty well every project coming up. Because this is all tooling I need running in order to make the copy attachment for the lathe and the profile milling attachment for the milling machine, which is all tooling leading up to the baby board vice build. So we shall get this grinding attachment together and then push on with our hydraulic tube repair. So we'll swing you around. Okay, so we finally have our grinding fixture all ready for assembly. Our sleeves have all been matched together. Remember we lapped this one out to fit this one. Everything's been primed and painted. All our calibration degrees have all been polished up for setting the angles for the clearances when you grind a milling cutter. So I've pre-oiled everything, so it's just a matter of stick it together. So first part is we have this part here. This rotates on the base. Now there's a locking arrangement for this. So it has these two pins with an angle ground on one end of them. So what that does is a dovetail on this part here, so those pins pushing against the dovetail. It's just a matter of getting the pins in the right way around. so it matches the dovetail. One in there. One in there. And they just have a grub screw to hold them in position. So you lock up the base with these grub screws. That will stop it rotating when you have your desired angle. Okay, so the next part is this tilting arrangement here. It just goes into place there. And it has the same thing with the dowels with the angle ground on the end and to fit into the same style dovetail spigot on the back of here. So they just go in. We've just got to watch the orientation of the dowels. Poke in. Two grub screws. It locks that in place. Now the next part to go in is we have the sleeve. Very neat fit in the casting. Make sure she's all beautiful and free with absolutely no play whatsoever. And then our spindle. It all slides through. No play, it's a beautiful sliding fit that. Okay, so on the front section we have this it's a collar. It just limits the movement of the inner spindle. Goes onto that. Then we have the indexing bracket. He slips onto there. Then the indexing wheel. So this is a 24 division wheel. So he slips onto the outer spindle, the inner spindle, sorry. Okay, then we have our 5C collet. We have to line up, there's a little tit inside the borer there which lines up on the slot in your collet. These are good collets, these are proper hard-inch collets. Right. And our drawbar for the collet. So when we go to use it, we just take an end mill, pop him in, nip up our collet. Now what we do have to make, when I emailed Hardinge to find out any information, not Hardinge, LA Rocheleau, their line of business makes plastic blow moulding machines now. They've gone away from these machine tool accessories, but they did email me out a copy of the brochure from this thing. So this is from the 1950s, which they suggested, and if I need any parts for it, obviously I do, I'm going to have to make them, unless someone's got something lying around. So on this dovetail slide here, there is an indexing arrangement to index these holes, and also going to have to make a finger attachment. So when you're grinding your cutter, it holds the cutting edge of your cutter in the same position as this rotates in and out, moves in and out, which, if we slide this one back, so your finger would come up underneath, or you'd set it up at the end here. Your grinding wheel will be grinding on this face, and your cutter rotates as it goes in and out. So we'll make those up, but for now, she's pretty well, this part is complete. So oh, okay, we've had a reasonable sort of effort put in on the weekend, so we got a bit done yesterday out with the tractor. We got our grinding fixture completed, all bar the little parts we have to make for the indexing fingers, and we got a bit of cocky shit put on our hydraulic pipe. So this is ready to go back on the tractor. I didn't bother filming it because, quite frankly, when I weld with a TIG, YouTube wouldn't like the language, so we'll leave it at that. No, it's alright. I haven't done any TIG welding now for probably about 2 years, and I just haven't had the need to. I've done everything with the MIG. So I've been welding all my life, but just I don't do a lot of TIG welding, so a bit more practice and we'll get there. So, oh well, actually while I was watching another guy's video the other day, Tom from Hilltop Machine Works over in the USA, in Virginia, I believe, maybe. He's got a similar sized property as what we have here, and he's starting to build, or shortly, probably the same size shop or similar size shop as what I'm doing, so, and about at the same time. So it'll be interesting to watch the two builds as they progress. So Tom from Hilltop Machine Works, go check out his channel. But he'll be along the same lines as myself, having to build, and I don't know how much he's going to video or not, but we'll see what happens. So take care, see you on the next one.